Welcome to the weekly sports update. I'm Nate Van alongside Alex Zoida. We're going to talk everything sports right now. We are college students, so we were not able to do last week's episode. We have a lot of work and stuff.
Midterms.
Yeah, it's just scheduling issues. All right, so we'll start off with baseball. Right now, the Dodgers just came off a great victory. I don't know, it looked pretty bad towards the end, but you definitely like to see the swings, the power swings coming back. Hitting has not been any team's strong suit this series so far, so I think both teams. The fact that the Cardinals scored 4, even though they lost, is pretty good for them. Right now, honestly, I'm pretty confident with Kershaw pitching Game 6, but I have no idea how Ryu, if it does go to a Game 7, I have no idea how Ryu's going to pull through in that Game 7 on the road in St. Louis.
So are you saying Dodgers are going to lose to
No,
St. Louis?
no, I won't say
You're
it.
picking...
No. I won't say it because the Cardinals have been in this situation before where they blew a 3-1 lead in the same series to a team from the same division with basically same division usually sometimes equals same play style in a sense. And they are facing one of the best pitchers in baseball in Clayton Kershaw. You always have the upper hand pretty much when he's in the game. So,
But look at the big hitters on St. Louis. Doug Freese always seems to show up in those clutch situations. Last year against Texas, hit 2 when it really mattered. One in the 8th, 9th, and then the other one in the 13th.
I mean, you could basically say that about both teams, though, because Hanley's hurt and David Freese is also hurt. Alan Craig isn't playing for the Cardinals right now, but Matt Kemp isn't playing for the Dodgers. So basically, both teams kind of have their big players. If they need their big players to step up, some of them are hurt. So now new guys got to step up. You saw A.J. Ellis hit a home run this game. Carl Crawford's been stepping up this postseason. And then
Crawford's had a great postseason.
Juan Uribe with that great
postseason.
Let's go to the AL. Right now, very
Tied
very
1-1
close series.
in the series.
It's a 2-1 series.
Or 2-1.
2-1 Boston.
Yes.
Also in this series, hitting has not been really a strong suit for either team. Very good pitching on both sides. Who do you see winning this series right now with Boston up 2-1?
Well, I think if Detroit wins tonight, I think they take it. But as much as it hates me to say, if Boston finds a way to win tonight, they're going to take it. And that kills me. But they look like the better team right now. Their bats look to be more lively than the Red Sox, and their pitching honestly looks to be a little better.
You
than
said
the
their bats look more lively than the Tigers, right?
Tigers.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah. I mean, they got the players who will always come through in the clutch, as you saw in game, was it 1 or game 2?
Game 2 when David Ortiz
Game
hit the grand
2, I think the clutch factor and experience really plays into the Red Sox, with guys like Ellsbury, Pedroia, of course, David Ortiz. I honestly still think Miguel Cabrera is a little hurt.
Oh, yeah. He
Just
can't run.
With his ineffectiveness so far in the
He can't run.
postseason, all signs point to the fact that he's still hurt. I'm looking at the Red Sox probably taking this series as well. Even if the Tigers win tonight, I can't see the Red Sox dropping 6 and 7 at home.
But you got Scherzer and Verlander. You got to face them one time more each. 2 of the best pitchers. Probably one of the best 1-2 tandems.
I don't know if Verlander is gonna pitch game 5 too.
I'm sure they'll go Scherzer game 5 and then let Verlander pitch game
6.
6 if it gets there.
Pretty fair. All right, let's go now to college football. Some great matchups this weekend. You got UCLA, Stanford.
Go Bruins. Go
Clemson,
Bruins.
Florida State. Of course, Syracuse, Georgia Tech. But no one really cares.
It's a game of the year.
No one really cares. But you got Clemson, Florida State, which is a great game. UCLA, Stanford. This game can really dictate Brett Hundley's Heisman status right now, this early into the season. If he wins this game, I think it really puts not only him on the map, but the Bruins on the map.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially
Legitimate
a Pac-12 contender and a national title contender even. I never thought I'd be able to say that in my generation.
Stanford coming off the tough loss at Utah. They're going to come out hungry. So we'll see what Bruins team we get. It could be one from last year when they played Cal where they got destroyed. Or if they come out like the second half against Nebraska. That's always been the Achilles heel to the Bruins. They either come out really well or come out really slow and sloppy and they're down by a lot. I don't think this is going to be too high scoring. I'm going to give the Bruins the edge because they're my team. I'm going to say maybe 21-17.
Stanford's definitely playing with a chip on their shoulder. You got probably the best front seven in the country over there. I see Stanford taking this at home. It's going to be a close game, though. Brett Hundley, I think, is very underrated. Just you got to see how it all plays out. It's really, really difficult to predict things this year in college football. Yeah. And then, of course, as you can see, you got Clemson and Florida State. Clemson, number 3 team in the nation. Don't get me wrong, probably one of the best offenses in the nation, one of the best quarterbacks, arguably the best wide receiver. But you saw in the game against NC State, you saw in the game against Boston College, they do tend to struggle. And twice in a year for the number 3 team in the nation this early on could point to some danger signs, especially playing Florida State.
Well, I mean, that's what turnovers will do to you. I know they had 3 fumbles in the first half against Boston College last week. Only one of them was lost. But it's a real drive killer when, you have a fumble, you lose 6 yards, and you have to play makeup. But, Clemson's defense hasn't been tested, but I think that they're strong. It hasn't really been tested since the beginning of the year. Florida State, I don't really think that they've had too big of a difficulty, like a true test. I think the toughest team they've played was Maryland, and they beat them 63-0. That was impressive, but they haven't had the true test like Clemson had earlier in the year. Taj Boyd Clemson beat Georgia by 3, so I think Clemson has the more experience. Winston's young. He hasn't played in a big game. Taj Boyd has experience, and with the way that Clemson finished out the game last year against Florida State, I think they're going to know what they have to do. They're going to go in there. If they have the lead, they're not going to let it up.
All right, let's go now from college to the pros. Giants, 0-6. Steelers finally getting the first win of the year against your Jets.
Let's not talk about that.
All right.
Come on, Gino.
All right. Then you got Tampa, 0-5. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you got the Broncos 6-0, the Chiefs 6-0, and then, of course, the New England Patriots. And that shows that you never count out Tom Brady.
God.
And I am not even starting to count them out, even with all the injuries they have.
All the receivers that can't catch.
Especially with Jared Mayo injured now, out for the year. I am not counting them out yet. 5-1. Don't really think they should be 5-1. Maybe I see like 3-3, 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Just you never ever count out Tom Brady. Not a great fantasy player. Doesn't put up the big numbers like he used to. Just a born winner, natural born winner. He's unbelievable.
What about how did the Saints blow that lead?
Sure.
Arguably biggest game of the Sunday. Peyton Manning returning to Indianapolis.
Definitely.
How do you see that one? Do you think he's going to have a big game, or do you think Indy's defense is going to slow him down a little bit?
Well, it shocks me to say that this past weekend against Jacksonville, Peyton Manning had his toughest test of the year so far. I think on a personal level, this is probably going to be the toughest game for him. You know his relationship with Jim Irsay has been shaky, as you could see in the media these past couple of days.
His tweets.
Yeah.
But
the story did break out that Peyton actually told the Colts to draft Andrew Luck. I actually look for Andrew Luck to prove more in this game rather than Peyton Manning. Rather than Peyton Manning saying, here's what you lost, let me show you what you missed out, what you're missing out on. Andrew Luck's going to be like, you're gone, it's my team now. I'm going to prove to you and to these fans and to our owners that I'm the guy for the future. And I think he breaks out with a huge game, but the Broncos prevail and Peyton's return to Indy.
Huge game? Andrew Luck. Big spotlight, Sunday Night Football. I think Peyton Manning's going to be overwhelmed with emotions. And I think he's going to play close to the same game that Brett Favre did, returning to Lambeau Field. And he threw for 3 touchdowns. I think he went 294. And the Vikings won by 12 over Green Bay. I imagine this game's going to be, might be a little closer than that. I think Andrew Luck struggles early. And I think Peyton Manning comes out and plays well. But I still think Denver's going to continue on and be undefeated.
How long do you think it's going to be till they lose a game, really?
I don't think that they're going to lose a game until that Kansas City game. I think Kansas City is going to take that game. I believe it is 4 weeks from now, so I would imagine maybe 5 weeks. But I imagine Kansas City is going to give them the best shot they've had all year besides the Cowboys. But I think it's going to be a much low-scoring game than that.
Better question is, when will the Giants win a game?
Let's see. The Giants. What is up with them? Eli Manning struggling, leading the league in interceptions. Usually,
Give Ryan Nassib the ball.
Usually, New York people will agree with me. You're saying Mark Sanchez is leading the league in interceptions, and that's
Not
surprising
the
that
case.
Eli Manning, because last year he had a really good year. I mean, they play Oakland coming up. That I don't know. I feel like Terrell Pryor is going to beat that defense as much as. That's interesting to say. I honestly don't think that they can win a game until they play maybe Detroit in Week 16.
Detroit's 4-2 right now.
They have
Detroit looks
Minnesota.
fine.
They have Minnesota, who I think Adrian Peterson's going to have a better week than he did last week. And I think Josh Freeman's a better quarterback than Matt Castle and Christian Ponder. Then they play Philly. Then they have a bye. Then they play your Raiders. And they play Green Bay, Dallas, maybe Washington, and San Diego. And then they play Seattle. And we all know.
Wow, I would give Ryan Nassib the ball. Please not David Carr, though. David Carr is just a waste product. And I just don't. Eli Manning, what do you got to
I
lose?
think Eli Manning has 2 more weeks, and if they don't win a game going into the bye, I think there's going to be some discussions with the front office, either letting go of Tom Coughlin or giving someone else the chance, whether that's Ryan Nassib or David Carr. They need to do something fast because this is embarrassing for them.
Eli's a winner. Tom Coughlin's a winner. This is embarrassing for either one of them. It's embarrassing for the city of New York. This reminds me of when the Knicks were with Isaiah Thomas as their head coach.
Yeah.
Fans used to come to games with paper bags on their head. That's how embarrassing this is right now. This is supposed to be a contender year in and year out. I would let Tom Coughlin go. I don't think you can let a talent like Eli Manning go because he's still. I still think he's a very good quarterback. But Coughlin's a winner. Coughlin's been with the franchise a long time. It's just time to cut ties. The Eagles did it with Andy Reid.
And Andy Reid came back and beat them in Philly.
Nah, that's true, but it's all part of the rebuilding process.
But now, on one board of the embarrassment, we'll go from the NFL to the NBA. News released today, Kobe Bryant, the 25th ranked player in the NBA. You're a Lakers fan. Everyone is upset about it, even some players. Stephen A. Smith lost his head. Why do you think that he...
I can't believe this. I'm lost for words sometimes. Joakim Noah, Roy Hibbert, Joe Johnson, just to name a few, John Wall. Those are Chris Bosh. Those are guys that are ranked higher than Kobe Bean Bryant. I respect their game. They can ball, like no doubt about it. Those guys can play basketball. But Kobe Bryant, 27 points a game, 5-time NBA champion, 2-time gold medalist, NBA MVP. Are you kidding me?
No.
He's coming off the injury. He is coming off the injury. But I bet you that his work ethic is better than anyone in the league right now. And that when he's healthy, he could be not only a top 10 player, maybe even a top 5 player. And guy's already working. He's already doing conditioning to get his ass back in shape. As he said, my fat ass needs to get back in shape. He's already doing drills. I could see him come back within November. Long shots December. Definitely he'll be back by January. I can't believe this. Dirk Nowitzki at 26 too. I want to know who makes these rankings right now.
So if you're making the rankings, what do you put Kobe? Injury and all, his shape, everything.
I don't know if I can think of a number, but I think a top 15, definitely a top 15. Top 10, you could put him in the top 10 right now because you've seen how he's battled with injuries throughout his whole career. His fingers have been broken. His ankle was sprained in the 2000 finals. His ankle was sprained towards the end of the 2013 season. He was still playing 43 minutes a game. I mean, he's just unbelievable. And you could see when he was ranked 6th in 2012 on ESPN's player rank, he had something to say about it. He went out and averaged 28, 6, and 4. Then he was ranked 7th in 2011, and he comes out and is second in the league in scoring. He would have won the scoring title if Kevin Durant hadn't played that last game against Sacramento that year. ESPN ranks the Lakers, predicts them to go 12th in the Western Conference this year. He didn't have a lot to say, but he just wrote 12th on Twitter. And you know he's playing with a chip on his shoulder right now. He's out to prove the whole world wrong. Not just his doubters, his critics, even his fans. He's out to prove everyone wrong and show them what he's truly capable of. Like, 25th is just... Come on.
Is he the best shooting guard in the game right
Yeah.
now? Over James Harden?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen, James Harden, so talented. Such a great player. He played with some guys that some people have never heard of, or some people just never cared about last year in Houston. That's where the numbers came from. When you're the first option on offense and the second option behind you is a very underrated player in Chandler Parsons, still not a very good second option on offense. While Kobe was playing with arguably the best big man in the game, Dwight Howard, as a second option on offense, and he was still able to get 18 points a game while Kobe dropped 27 a game. I mean, James Harden's minutes were higher, played on a worse team, maybe talent-wise, like as a team, maybe they were better than the Lakers, I think. They were around the same seedings. The Thunder went 8th, the Lakers went 7th. Talent-wise, the Lakers were a much better team. I would rank Kobe higher than James Harden, still with the injury.
Now, I agree. I mean, I think overall, player for player, Houston had a better team last year. Not by much, but they still had a better team.
Really?
I mean,
player for player, I said maybe as a team.
Overall team, yeah. But I mean,
not player for player.
Well, I mean, take away Dwight Howard and Kobe and Pau Gasol, I would take the Rockets team.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So, I mean, Kobe is higher than 25. Yes, I agree with that 100%. I think he's top 10, maybe top 5. Best shooting guard of the league? I don't think so. I think James Harden can score, pass, rebound. I mean, realistically, I think right now and with their games, I think James Harden has a little bigger edge.
Oh, he's up there.
And Kobe, I mean, and who knows how Kobe's going to react with the Achilles coming back. I mean, Achilles is tough. David Beckham missed 6 months. Kobe's only missing.
Ended Chauncey Billups' career.
Yeah, ended Chauncey Billups' career.
I mean, yeah.
He didn't end it, but he's like his name isn't as significant as. I mean, it could. It honestly all depends on how he comes back. I mean, I think by the end of the season he's going to be in the top 10. I don't imagine how he got ranked 25. I mean, it's going to take me a while to name 24 players that are better than him.
I mean, Joe Johnson, Joakim Noah, Chris freaking Bosh,
John Wall.
I mean, yes,
John
he's
Wall
injured.
hasn't been healthy for one full season.
I mean, yes, exactly. John Wall has sat out with a sprained ankle for about 3 weeks. Kobe played in the finals with a sprained ankle. Kobe played the last 10 games of last year before getting hurt with a sprained ankle after that game in Atlanta. Along with probably his whole hand being broken.
Kobe doesn't want to miss games. I mean, I think his will puts him in the top 15 regardless if he's on one leg or not. But at the same time, I don't think he's the best shooting guard, but I think he's better than John Wall. He's better than Roy Hibbert, better than Joakim Noah, better than Chris Bosh,
better than some guys in the top 10, better than Kevin Love,
Kevin Love. I mean,
I could throw him in my top 5 right now.
And the thing is, they're going to put Derrick Rose up there, and Derrick Rose hasn't played in a game in a year and a half. You're anticipating him coming back and just playing like he was off a torn ACL. I mean,
ESPN simply has a love handle for Derrick Rose for some reason. Every year they seem Derrick Rose and Dwight Howard are their 2 probably favorite players in the NBA. Every year they seem to rank them like in the top 3.
Is Dwight Howard the best center in the NBA?
As much as I hate to say it, I mean, yes, he was hurt last year. He really did not want to play for Mike D'Antoni. I think he's the best overall center in the game. But when healthy, I think Andrew Bynum is the best offensive center.
I mean,
best center on the post, who gets the ball in his hands on the post. He's the best center on offense when he's healthy.
I don't think Dwight Howard's the best center in the NBA right now.
With Gasol.
I could probably name 5 centers better than
5?
him. I don't think I would take Marc Gasol over him. I would take Joakim Noah over him.
Ooh,
I would probably take Roy Hibbert over him. I would take Brook Lopez over him.
I don't know if I trust the center who gets 6 rebounds a game.
Dwight Howard is a cancer to a team. When he's unhappy, he doesn't play.
Yep.
He doesn't play well. He did it in Orlando's last season, and all he did was just create more drama. He did it in LA this last year, and now he's going to do it in Houston. Because they're not going to mesh well. He's not going to get the ball as much, and then when they do, teams are going to foul him. Because he can't make free throws, and that's his problem. If I'm him, I'm sitting in a gym shooting 100 free throws, and I'm not leaving until I make 75 of them.
He's probably the least coachable player in the NBA right now.
Oh, yeah. Maybe besides DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, it's up there.
But
definitely up there.
I would take 5 centers over him I would take Tyson Chandler over him. Tyson Chandler doesn't have an offensive game, but he goes out there, puts in the hard work, puts his body on the line, and does what's expected of him.
Dwight's 26. At some point, you expect him to take a step of level of maturity. I mean, John Wall is 23, and John Wall is taking that step. He's ready to lead this Wizards team. He's satisfied with his coach. You can hear how happy he is in his pressers. Derrick Rose took that step. All these kids coming in, they're in their young 20s. They're taking the big steps. You got Dwight Howard, who's 26, and he still has yet to take that step to appreciate the fan base of a team, his coaching staff, his surrounding supporting cast. He wanted Kobe Bryant amnestied.
Oh yeah.
He wanted
the thing is, Dwight Howard wanted the spotlight, wanted the team to be his, but realistically, he's not man enough to own a team all by himself.
He's not good enough to own a team by himself.
Good enough maybe, but if he has the right attitude, then he'll work harder and get better. I mean, you have LeBron James, who can basically do everything, but does that stop him from working harder in the summer? No. He'll go to Hakeem Olajuwon, and he'll go to all these people in the post and be like, can you teach me how to do post moves so I can expand my game?
Yeah,
Dwight Howard can't do that.
LeBron took so much heat for being immature, took so much criticism for not working on his game, and he got up, he became a man, he quit playing around, he quit joking around at practice and all that. He worked hard during the summer, and look how it paid off. He's putting up some of the most dominant numbers we've ever seen in the league, especially in 2013.
Dwight Howard is taking 10 straight games, 60+% from the field,
something like that.
Points.
He shot 58 this past year. Dwight's taking so much criticism and so much heat from the media, from the fans, from the NBA itself, from players even, and he just doesn't seem to care. He's feeling victimized every day when he's putting no work into his game. He's not even trying to acknowledge or appreciate the fact that he's been blessed with a huge contract, great talent, and a very good team last year and probably this year too. And he just does not want to take that step and make his game better and make people around him better. He's
still the number 2 option on a team. He still has James Harden that's going to control the game, take the last shot. I mean, I would never trust Dwight Howard with the ball in his hands.
I'd rather Luke Walton shoot it.
I mean, regardless, I don't think Houston does anything this year. I mean, I don't think OKC is as dominant as they are this year because they only have 2 true scorers. I mean,
watch out for the Clippers.
If Jeremy Lamb comes out and does something, Clippers are going to do something. San Antonio always. I think honestly those are going to be the top 2 teams. Golden State are going to be up there, but I don't think anybody else really can give a chance for the West. I think the Lakers. Kobe's going to come out with a vengeance. He's going to probably get them in the playoffs, but I honestly...
Another early round exit, probably.
Maybe upset a team and then get booted, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see the East this year, though. The East is going to look promising.
Definitely with Chicago back.
And then Brooklyn with the upgrades they got. But the only thing is Kevin Garnett quick enough to guard the 4?
No. Not with the way the NBA is going now.
So then you're gonna put Brook Lopez there.
You got guys like Carmelo Anthony starting to play the 4.
LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron plays a 4. I mean, you switch it up between him and Shane Battier. The fact Shane Battier, I don't think Kevin Garnett's fast enough to guard Shane Battier. So.
But he's still gonna give it his all. But I mean, that's gonna be something for Jason Kidd to figure out. Kevin Garnett, Brook Lopez.
I would not be surprised if there are talks of him getting booted by the mid-season.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I think it was a rather quick hire, especially with all the talent out there. George Karl. But
I would say Jerry Sloan, but I don't know if you'd want Jerry Sloan and Darren Williams together again. That would not be very pretty. I think they should have made a run at Brian Shaw. I think Denver really...
Brian Shaw is an underrated.
Denver got a steal over there.
Finally gets his shot as a coach. But I think he should have gotten the Lakers job. But I don't know. I think the NBA is going to be interesting this year. I think Kobe's just going to prove everybody wrong.
All right, thank you for watching, everybody. Tune in next week again every Monday from now on. We'll try to keep you consistent on Mondays. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you very much.